Well, looks like we're getting started. I didn't even press start. The camera started all by itself. I wasn't even ready, but apparently I was ready. All right, so welcome back for another episode of Sacred Sound Expressions. This episode is something I'm really excited about because it's about how I ended my 12-year addiction to tobacco. Ooh, cue music. Cue cheers and claps. Yeah, baby, yeah. We're gonna get right into this because it's actually all quite simple. It's actually quite simple. You want to know how to stop smoking tobacco? You just decide to stop. And when you decide to stop, you decide that you're never going to do it ever again. Yeah. 60 seconds in. That's the secret. That's how I stopped cold turkey in a day. Was just like, yo, I'm done with this. And just fucking stopped. And you're watching a video about how simple that is. How do you feel right now? I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. It was deeper than that. But at the end of the day, that's exactly what happened. I made a decision and I didn't change my mind. Because you've made the decision to quit smoking plenty of times. The thing is, you kept changing your mind. So it's all about deciding that you're done and not letting anything convince you to ever touch tobacco ever again in your life. So something that really helped convince me to never ever touch tobacco ever again in my entire life is the book, The Easy Way to Quit Smoking by Alan Carr. In this book, he demolishes any excuse you have to continue smoking. So if you read this book, whatever you believe is keeping you as a smoker, you're going to have to let that go if you read this book. Because any and everything that your mind can come up with to convince you to keep smoking is going to get destroyed in this book. It's a very old book. It's really easy to find. It's probably $5 used on Amazon. But if you, for whatever reason, if you cannot access or purchase the book, send me an email and I will send you a copy of the digital version, the ebook. I'll send it to you to your email, okay? So you officially have no excuses not to read the book. I will send it to you for free. All you have to do is send me an email and let me know you want the book. And I will reply with the book. My email is in the description. Okay? So, before you read the book, I do think it's a good idea to kind of test your conviction to see how strong-willed you are. That's not the best word. To see how convicted you are. Basically to see how are you even able to make a decision and stick to it? Like, let's start there because you need to kind of practice that muscle first. So start with something super small. Like, I'm going to meditate for 2 minutes a day. I'm going to stretch for 60 seconds a day. Something super small that you absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, know that you can do it. And then do that for a week or so and see how consistent you are. And build that muscle first. That's something I definitely wish I would have done prior to reading the book, just so that I could build some strength in that area prior to just quit smoking, okay? So, you've decided you want to stop smoking. You've read the book because the book helps. Trust me, the book helps a lot. It's been about 2 hours since your last smoke, and the little nicotine monster inside you has officially decided to cry out and ask for you to smoke. What you're going to hear is, I want to smoke. you must first acknowledge that I is not you. It's the little nicotine monster. It's not you. You have to stop identifying as the smoker because you don't want to smoke. Therefore, you are not the smoker. There is something else present that wants to smoke, but it's not you. So first, when those cravings start to come, disidentify with that voice that says, I want to smoke, because that's not you. That I is not you. Secondly, when the craving comes up, don't fight it. Just notice that it's there. When I get a craving and I hear the words, I want to smoke, I just was like, okay. Whereas all of my previous attempts to quit smoking, I would try to fight that voice. I would try to push the craving away. I would try to distract myself. I would try to forget about smoking. That don't work. You're just pushing. When you push up against something, you're still touching it. Don't fight the voice. Just notice that it's there and just say, okay, like, I hear you, but I'm not changing my mind. You can say you want to smoke all you want, but I'm not going to change my mind. 3, something, I'm reading my notes here. That's why I said 3. Something that, the reason why I was able to quit, not only quit smoking, but I'm actually enjoying the process. It's been 7 days. I haven't smoked in a week. I actually enjoy the process because every time I hear the voice, I want to smoke, and I don't smoke, it reinforces my self-respect. Every single time. So imagine how many times a day I hear the words, I want to smoke. Every time I say no, and then I just go on about my business, it reinforces my self-respect. I respect myself 10 times more than I did a week ago. Because the reality is smoking is abusive, and I have decided to remove all abuse and harm from my life, even if it's me doing the abusing. There's a whole new level of self-respect that comes, and self-love that comes when you stop abusing yourself. You out here calling this person toxic, cutting this person off, blocking this person, baby, you need to be doing that to you. You hurting you. You can't, now that I'm here, you can't tell me that you love yourself and yet you poison yourself every single day, multiple times a day. You don't actually know. You cannot convince me. I thought, prior to quitting smoking, I thought I loved myself. I really did. But that wasn't love. Because love is not abusive. Love is nurturing. Love does not deplete, it nourishes. Smoking does not nourish you in any way. And if you believe smoking nourishes you or that you enjoy smoking, read the book. Because in this book, Alan Carr explains to you how that's all a bunch of bullshit, and you know it's bullshit, and you're deluding yourself into believing it's not bullshit so you can keep abusing your body. Okay? Just saying. So, the day that I quit smoking, while reading the book, I developed these 6 truths. And these are all truths I got from reading the book. And this is basically the book boiled down into 6 statements, okay? And the first 3 days, I would have to repeat these 6 statements to myself in order to remember why I quit smoking, because that little nicotine monster, and in combination with your mind, will convince you that you want to smoke. So you have to have something that reminds you of why you quit smoking, because those first 2-3 days they're not, I don't want to say difficult, but they're annoying. It's like a fly. Like, imagine there was a fly in the room right now, just buzzing, buzzing, buzzing. It's fucking annoying. You know? It's annoying. Truth number 1. You are an addict. Okay? You are trying to get a need met externally that can only be satisfied internally. You give a substance credit for a feeling only felt in the presence of awareness. This is the ego. So essentially what I'm saying here is for me, when I would sit down and I would have a smoke, I would allow myself to relax, which would put me in the presence of God, in the presence of awareness. And I would get all these downloads. I don't know about y'all, but when I'm out there smoking, I would get a whole bunch of downloads and a whole bunch of insights and revelations. And I was giving credit to the smoking for these insights and these revelations. But the reality is I was getting these insights and revelations because I was sitting outside in nature uninterrupted. I was being quiet and I was breathing in a pattern and I was breathing deeply. That's where the insights and the revelations came from, and from the relaxation, the perceived relaxation. That's where that was coming from. That satisfaction is coming from God. It's not, you're giving credit to the tobacco for something that it's not doing. Truth number 2, your addiction is harmful, not helpful. You delude yourself into believing that smoking helps you so that you can keep doing it. It's poison. It's always been poison. And the addiction is tricking you into believing that you enjoy poisoning yourself. You don't enjoy smoking. You're just miserable without it. Nicotine creates this really fucked up loop where the craving for your next smoke came from your last one. So every time you smoke, you guarantee that you're going to want another one. And it's this negative cycle. And how many times have we gotten caught up in this cycle aside from smoking? Like a negative thought pattern or a loop, or how we're ruminating on an argument and we just keep replaying this argument in our mind over and over and over. Yeah, it's an addiction. It's an addiction. And you don't enjoy it. You're just miserable without it. So your mind says, oh, I must be enjoying this. No, you don't. It tastes disgusting. It makes you cough. It hurts your throat. You stink. You stink. Now that I'm around other smokers, I'm like, holy shit, is that what I smelled like? I can't believe I have smelled like that for 12 years. Because your nose becomes numb to it. Your tongue becomes numb to the taste. So you think you're enjoying it, but you're not. You enjoy not being miserable. That's really what's happening. Truth number 3. Addiction is insanity. It doesn't make any fucking sense. And trying to understand addiction can become an addiction. How many times have you tried to, especially if you're on a healing journey, if you're on a spiritual journey, how many times have you tried to figure out where your trauma comes from or where someone else's trauma comes from? And it just becomes this deep rabbit hole where you just keep uncovering layer after layer after layer after layer. Like, it can become an addiction to try to understand insanity. You cannot understand the ego because it's insanity. It literally doesn't make sense. It was not built to be able to be understood. So if you try to go through, oh, I smoke because my mom and my dad, or I was abused. No. You're going to get caught up in a loop and you're going to stay there. You don't want to smoke for the rest of your life. When you smoked that first cigarette, in your mind, were you like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this for forever? No, because it was disgusting. It made you dizzy. It made your stomach hurt. And it stunk. No one ever, I've never met a smoker that thought they were going to be an addict the very first time they smoked. Addiction is insanity. Don't trying to understand insanity is insanity. Okay? Truth number 4. You are not sacrificing. This one hurts me. You are not sacrificing anything when ending the addiction. You are, however, sacrificing everything to hold on to the addiction. The addiction does not give. It only takes away and then partially restores what it took so that you believe it's giving you something. If you stop smoking, what are you giving up? Because a big reason that I kept smoking for a while is because I didn't want to feel like a smoker that's just not smoking the rest of my life. I didn't want to feel deprived the rest of my life. I didn't want to spend a lifetime craving something. But once you actually give it up and you get the nicotine out of your body, you realize you weren't giving up anything. You weren't giving up anything. You were giving up everything to keep smoking. You're giving up your health, your teeth, your skin. You see this beautiful cinnamon golden skin? Yeah, I was fucking it up by being a smoker for 12 years. You are sacrificing everything to hold on to this addiction. Don't wait until you get an irreversible disease before you quit smoking. Smoking is going to destroy your life. If you think you're going to be that rare individual that smokes 5 packs a day and you're 85 years old, you're fucking kidding yourself. You're deluding yourself. You're trying to sell yourself a story so that you can keep doing this. The addiction isn't giving you anything. It's taking everything away from you. Truth number 5. In truth number 5 is all about cutting out your excuses for why you smoke. Truth number 5. You aren't relaxing. You are numbing yourself. Your nerves aren't being calmed. They're being destroyed. Smoking doesn't relieve boredom. It makes you anxious, which means you're no longer bored. Smoking doesn't help you concentrate. It distracts you from facing the stress of what you're doing now. So let's go one by one. You aren't relaxing. You're numbing. You are escaping reality. You think that this substance is relaxing you, but you have to understand, in order for it to relax you, because the nicotine cannot give, it can only take. So in order for it to relax you, it first has to take something away from you. And then it partially gives it back so that in your mind, oh, this is helping me. But it's not. It took something from you and then gave a little piece of it back. So you think, oh, this is helping me relax. It's not. It's making you numb. Like I said, your nerves aren't being calmed. They're being destroyed. Of course you feel calmer because you don't have as many nerves. They were destroyed in the process of you smoking. Smoking literally kills your brain cells. It literally fries them to death. And this is not me trying to scare you into not smoking. This is just me laying out the truth. And that's what I love about that book. Because there's one out of like all the chapters, there's one chapter that gets scary. But it's only scary because it's the truth. He lays out the truth plain, just straight like that. This is the reality of what you're doing. But all the rest of the book isn't focused on fear mongering. It's not focused on scaring you into being a non-smoker. Smoking doesn't relieve boredom. It makes you anxious, which means you're no longer bored. Yes, smoking makes you anxious. It increases your heart rate And I don't know about y'all, but I was the secret smoker. I would always go off and smoke privately because I didn't want my family especially to see that I was smoking, especially my nieces and nephews. I didn't want them to see the abuse I was doing to my body, so I was the secret smoker. So every time I go off to smoke, it's causing all this anxiety. I hope I don't get caught. I don't want to run into anybody. I just want a quiet moment to myself. It would cause me anxiety. Every time I put that to my mouth, I'm disgusted with myself, which creates anxiety. You're definitely no longer bored if you're anxious and you're worried and filled with doubt and worry and losing self-respect. Yeah, you're definitely not bored. Smoking doesn't help you concentrate. It distracts you from facing the stress of what you're doing. For me, the biggest one for this is driving. Driving without smoking was quite interesting the first few days. I would literally have to you have to find different coping mechanisms to deal with the stress of whatever it is you're facing. And ask yourself, why is this stressful? Why is driving stressful? Well, I'm putting my life at risk. Yeah. So it makes sense why driving would be stressful. There's traffic, there's people beeping, there's a lot of stimulation. That makes sense. But you have to start developing different coping mechanisms. And for me, breath work, breathing. I like to do a sharp, deep inhale and a slow exhale. That sharp inhale feels like I'm smoking. I don't know, something about the way that sharpness, that quickness, and fills my lungs. It feels like similar to smoking. So that is what I do when I'm having a craving and I want to focus on something else. I'll do a few of those breaths, and by the second or third breath, my mind has already drifted off to somewhere else. Number 6, this is the one that really broke me down. This is the one that had me crying like a little baby the first or second day I quit smoking. Your addiction has caused you to miss out on your life's journey by always rushing to get to the next hit. You can't enjoy where you are because you're constantly looking for a place and a time to smoke. You've spent a lot of time worrying about the future instead of enjoying the moment. You rejected multiple opportunities to bond with your family and friends because you'd rather smoke than take them with you or be with them. This one hurt because the last smoke I was sitting on my porch, and it's a normal day, just like today. Like, in my mind, all the kids are at school, that I have the house to myself. I'm just enjoying an afternoon smoke. But that wasn't the case. My sister had brought my niece home from school because she was sick, but she didn't tell me that she was dropping my niece off. She just dropped her off and left. And they live here too, so my niece's bedroom was in the basement. So when she got dropped off, she went in her room. So I didn't even know she was home. So I'm sitting on the porch smoking, and I hear my dog barking. And to me, I'm thinking he's barking at something in the backyard, one of the neighbors. He barks sometimes. I didn't think anything of it. And then all of a sudden, I start to hear my niece call out for me and call out for her grandfather, who she calls Jaja. And all I hear is Jaja, like, Jaja, where are you? Jaja, where are you? Auntie, where are you? And I walk in the door, and my niece is standing there, frozen in fear, like frozen, can't move. And my dog is there in like a defensive pose, barking at her. And I ran to her and I grabbed her and I just held her, and she just cried. Like, she was actually scared. And first of all, don't blame my dog. He's very old and he got confused because normally it's like now, normally nobody's home during the day. And when my niece got dropped off, me and my dog were here in this bedroom. Like, no, I did not know she was here. The dog didn't know she was here. So he got confused and just started barking at her as if she was an intruder. Because he's old and he's just confused. So the reality is, if I wasn't outside smoking, that would have never happened. And I blamed myself for her fear, because you never know how a child is going to absorb something. This could be that moment could have instilled a fear in her, a trauma in her that she could carry for a long time. So I sat with her and held her as long as she needed me to. And I stayed with her and I kept the dog away from her until she was able to relax her nervous system and to calm down. And we keep talking about it. And I explained to her that he's old. He was confused. He loves you. He doesn't want to hurt you. He just got confused because your brain doesn't work the same when you're older. Like, anyways, the point of me saying all of that is that I have missed out on so many moments because I was a secret smoker. I don't smoke. I never smoked ever in 12 years. I never smoked in front of my family because I didn't want them to see me abusing myself. So I've missed out on so many opportunities to bond with family and friends. You know, we go out to eat and all the smokers after the meal have to get up and go smoke and then come back. I mean, countless. I'm talking thousands and thousands and thousands of opportunities that I missed to be with my family and friends because I wanted to be a smoker. So don't let that be you. Don't let that be you. You're ready. It's not a matter of, are you strong enough? It's a matter of, are you brave enough? You are absolutely strong enough to quit because you were strong enough to get started. It's a matter of, can you believe in yourself? Which is why I told you in the beginning, start small. You don't have to start big. Start small. Start with, I just do meditating because you can meditate anywhere. Start meditating for 2 minutes a day and prove to yourself that you can be consistent. All right. Remember, email me if you need the book. You got this, yo. I fucking believe in you. Please come back. If you read the book and you quit smoking, come back to me and let me know so I can love on you and tell you how proud I am. Like, I really believe you can do this. If I can do this, you can do this. It doesn't matter if you've been a smoker for 40 years. You can quit right now. You can quit right now. But please, 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 if you don't do anything else that I've said, please at least read the book. I have the idea. I don't know if I'm gonna do it, but I have the idea to actually read the book to you, to create an audio book. Because A, my voice is kind of nice, you know, I'm just saying, and B, I can like pause along the way and add some like spiritual insights and give you just a different perspective, because the book is really dope and the book helps with any addiction. It's not just smoking. The book is about smoking, but the book can help you with any addiction. All right. I love you. Thank you for attending this episode. My dog is trying to get through the door. Thank you for attending this episode. I love you so much. And just peace and blessings to you on this journey. You got this. I'm telling you, you got this. You can do this. All right? I love you.